Hey, how it's going, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you an intelligence platform that I am building, and I'm trying to build this in public, right? And I'm building this for my own country because of the geopolitical situation that we are currently seeing globally, right? So if you look at here on my screen, I'm building something named Swaraj AI. Lately, you would have seen a lot of intelligence platform or a tracking platform or surveillance or monitoring platform, right? Which has made, of course, which has gone viral on GitHub or on social media, and I also wanted to build that. Okay, but I'm building this a bit differently. Okay, of course, I'm going to make this open source first of all, and I'm going to include as much as data sources possible in this, and with that, making sure that I'm not building a complexity here. I'm building an intelligence platform, right? So, uh, if you look at here on my screen, right, it says Swaraj AI intelligence platform. Now, the meaning of Swaraj is very localized or regional, which is like free, which has its own freedom. That's what we meant by Swaraj, right? Now, on top, you will find out a lot of headers options here named drought, air quality, earthquake, crop, flood, heat, aviation, events. So there are different domains that we are currently looking at. How do we bring the data sources from it? And I will let you know that how I've been building it, right? So you can also build it if you want on top of this. Now, these kind of tools are not new. Okay, there have been a lot of tools like this, okay, previously, which are controlled by, of course, top organization. Like, if this company, Palantir is one of those organizations globally. It says AI powered automation for every decision. Like they work with all the top security agencies and top giants, mainly in the United States, but also they are working with Israeli forces and a lot of other things as far as we know, right? So that's one of the example, and their scale is high. I mean, they are giants. Like they have been working in this field for so many years, and they have so much of proprietary data to deal with that we probably not have access to it, right? Now, we also have a lot of access when it comes to, like, let's say if you're an individual or if you are somebody who wants to build, you have enough data available that you can probably use it to generate insights which are valuable for, like, let's say public, or which are valuable for any organization or governing bodies that you probably want to build it for, right? Now, if you look at your app, so far I have considered few cities and district in India. Okay, not everything because of the rate limits and everything. I'll talk about it in a bit, right? But it's quite good enough so far. And here, let me just show you. So let's say if I click on this Hyderabad, for example, where I come from, right? If I click on this, if it will start showing me two things over here. One is the Intel and the other is analytics in the right hand side. Now it gives you an overview of Hyderabad on, like, of course, the lat and long values are here, and then it gives you the active signal. So there are 50 plus signals we are currently considering that basically, are backed by satellite data from Sentinel to, I'll show you that in a bit, and then earthquake data, aviations, air qualities, and whatnot. There are other data that I have already applied for. Of course, we're going to use Google Earth Engine and a lot of other data sources, Open Weather Map, and a lot of other data sources are there that I'm going to talk about in a bit. Now, uh, if you look at the drought, of course, we have, and I'll show the code a bit. Okay, that you can also go through it. It gives you the drought value for this currently normal that you see, total signals, district overview, average severity, last updated, and you can also have an AI analysis. Okay, so if you look at here, it says the satellite shows the normalized difference vegetation index in Hyderabad district at this value, which is below the healthy vegetation threshold. This indicates moderate stress on crops and natural vegetation. So these are helpful for farmers actually in Hyderabad or anywhere in general. We are talking about NDVI value. Okay, and why it matters, you can see it says reduced vegetation health directly threatens rain-fed and irrigated agriculture. Okay, when irrigation and those things happen, risking lower yields for staple crops such as paddy and millets, blah blah blah, and some recommended actions and risk outlooks as well. So for every city or district that we have selected, it gives you some kind of value in the analytics. You can find out total signals, criticals, districts, 22 districts so far, average severity value. The data sources for satellite, we are finding out 17 signals. For earthquake, we are looking at 15 signals. For aviation, we are looking at 12 signal, air quality 9 signals. You can look at the signal types, top affected district. Pune is one of the top affected district, and I'll show you why. So Pune comes into like it has a military airport, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if it's a military or naval. How do they categorize it? But they do have, right? So if you look at it, you can find out in the aviation. So in aviation, if you look at 80%, and I'll tell you why it shows that. So if you click on aviation over here, in aviation it shows, if you look at this, right, it says unusual aviation, 8 unidentified military aircraft among 10 total over Pune. And that's a huge risk, and it's a huge risk for people who does not know, but because as Pune comes under a military, of course they have that military airport, it's quite normal for them, right? So it's probably not a risk. But if you look at here, we find out severity, confidence, blah blah blah. If you explain, I'm using Grok models just because it's free to use it, so we're using Grok, and all of these have their own, rate limits and all. You have to be very careful if you're using open source models, or even let's say if you're using closed source models through Grok and all, then you have to be careful about it. Okay, because Grok also you're gonna use through APIs, and they will definitely have rate limits on free tier. Okay, so just be very careful about it. So for aviation data that you see, we are using OpenSky as a data source. So OpenSky basically gives you the flight radar data that you see it, and it finds out. So if you look at here, it says a large proportion of aircraft observed over Pune today were unidentified or likely military, with 8 out of 10 flights not matching civilian flight registries, which is fantastic actually, right? So this is one thing to see. When you click on aviation, you'll find out for all of it, right? Which is quite good for other places. And if I click on all again, and similarly, you'll find out for, let's say, earthquake, and I'll find out for earthquake. So if you click on here, like let's say in Kolkata, you'll find out 23 kilometer of this place, which is in Bangladesh actually, right? And you can find out the earthquake data, which is not real time. So this data is not real time, of course. It's like few days back data that you see. Okay, but it also there that we are trying to work with earthquake data to bring it. Aviation, crop. So crop failures, you find out crop related data, which is again based on NDVI, you see, and drought and air quality. Of course, if you look at air quality in some of the places which are really bad, unhealthy air, that you see it over here, and you can also explain signals. So there are different signals I'm trying to build, and as I said, right, I will push this on my GitHub repo. I want to build this in public, and we keep on building it. Like I'm working on, I'm already applied, or have done registrations on different data sources to bring flood, heat, crime, or events also from, and I'll show you what I talk about it. So you can look at this AI analysis on top of this one, that what's happening with the air quality index or AQI value of this particular city. Okay. Now, if you talk about the architectures here, these are data sources that we are currently looking at. So we have Modi's data over here that looks at NDVI, LST, NDMI, and burn values, that comes from here. And then we're looking at Sentinel-2. So Sentinel-2 also I have configured the OAuth and all to kind of use that. And I'm also going to use Landsat, which is a NASA program that you see here on that. So Landsat also we're going to use to bring good data actually. They have good data source. They are really good data sources. Okay. Now Sentinel-2 is also, of course, we are using Sentinel-2 data very soon into this. That will become, this will then it will make it really powerful. Okay, so right now, as you can see, we are using this Modi's data Sentinel-2 for weather and air quality. We are using Open Meteor as a data source. For earthquake data, we are using USGS FDSN. For aviation, Open Sky. For global events, basically, because a lot of things are happening, like when you talk about geopolitical situation right now, everybody is bombing each other, right? So that is coming from GDELT projects. Okay, that will come here in the events actually. It do have rate limits. So if you talk about GDELT, it does has this rate limit thingy. But you can look at here, watching our world unfold, the GDELT projects, which is fantastic actually. If you go to data, of course, supported by Google Jigsaw anyway. And if you look at here, it says the entire GDL database is 100% free and open. You can download the raw data files, visualize it using blah, blah, blah. And of course, Google BigQuery as well. Okay. Now this is interesting. So this is I'm going to use into this. I recommend you to have a look at this project as well, which is fantastic. Maybe we'll have something like this to very map UI kind of thing, like how Palantir does it. A big fan of Alex Karp, by the way. Okay, I really admire Alex Karp. You say whatever, people says a lot about him, but I'm a big fan of Alex Karp, who has built Palantir with other guys. Now, aviation, crop, earthquake, air quality, drought. We're gonna bring crime, flood, heat, other satellite data, and once we have access to Google Earth Engine, it takes 24 to 48 hours once you do the registrations, then it will become even more powerful, right? So in the left hand side, we'll have all our cities, major cities in India, right? I mean, we already covering a lot, but then we're gonna probably do it through latitude and longitude values. We'll see because not everything has enough data, right? Not all small villages and we'll have it, but we'll try to cover district wise and see if we can categorize in that way. And it also brings some real world, notifications. We send it to Discord or Telegram or wherever. Maybe we'll give access to OpenClaw and say, okay, here is all the things happening. You just look at it and start sending notifications. I mean, just a thought. Maybe we can deploy it on AWS, EC2 or wherever, and then let OpenClaw does all the things, right? Now in the search also, I'll probably make this a bit better on the search. So search will also come up. And in the analytics here, if you look at it, gives you a high level overview. Okay. You can also generate national briefing, like if you want to create a report to send it to your uh, whoever, I don't know, maybe let's say if you start using this for your own organization or somewhere, you can create reports and start sending it to your seniors or whoever you want to report it to. You can also do that. Okay, something is there, so we're gonna enhance this, of course. So this is first video. I'm gonna again I will create a video on this when I make some progress. But I wanted to build a tool like this for quite some time actually. Okay, I was not getting time, and now I'm gonna work on this. Now, why I'm building it? Because earlier we built something called Chaya OS. If you are not aware, let me open my GitHub. Okay, and I'll show you. Okay, Chaya OS was a dark web intelligence platform. So, just by giving keywords, you can find out what's happening on dark web. You can track actually. And Chaya OS also, I made it open source. Oh, you can see it over here. It says Chaya Dark Web AI Agent. So we did that as well, right? And that was really well appreciated. So that is something that I was doing. And then we now Swaraj AI intelligence platform, more like an intelligence platform. Yeah, it's you can call it like a shadow platform where you can find everything at once. Maybe we'll also bring once we have the events thing right from GDLT, okay, from GDELT or whatever we call it, right? Once we have that, we can also create some kind of market trackers and all, right? Some kind of signals combining with market trends and create better reports for people to keep an eye on it and make better decisions when it comes financially as well, right? What kind of decisions they are making. So this is something that I wanted to show you. Let me know your feedback so far. As I told you that this is not at all complete. Like I've been working on it. Okay, here is what shown you as an architecture. Front end is completely Next.js that you see that we are building. We are using OpenStreetMap and leaflets and all those things. Analytics, dashboard and panels. We are using Neon DB for storage. Okay, that you can see it over here. Fast API as a backend framework to build APIs, microservices, whatever. We have a data orchestrator that orchestrates the thingy with the data sources. Like so far, we have 5 data sources, but we're going to add more data sources over here pretty soon. And once we have the data, we use AI to analyze it, explain signals, national briefing, district brief, and so on and so forth. And signal processing happens on classifying signals, aviations, conflict, seismic for earthquake, etc. And then we merge and find out the deduplicates and then remove the deduplicates and again use that as a data cache, right? So we just not have to hit the APIs again and again. So this is what Swaraj AI does, guys. This is what we are building. Looks good so far. Uh, we keep on building it. We put it on GitHub, so we build it together if you want to build it. And even if you take the code and just make something, it's completely fine because I will keep on building on top of it. This is what I wanted to show you. If you like the video, please hit the like icon. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel, guys. That motivates me to create more such videos in near future. And you can watch 700 plus AI related videos on the channel. Just go and just find out whatever videos you want to see. Everything is there on the channel. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.